All right. So once again, welcome everyone to you here for making this effort. You've really done well, and thank you so much for putting efforts to. I said we are going to talk about if else statement. Last time we did talk about if else statement, but seems like most of us do not actually understand else. And so that's why we are going to talk about else statement. As the CC holiday done here, everybody done it. Yes, I see that, and they are chilling. And of course, for those who will not chill, would have these classes Thursdays and Fridays. For those who may not want to, it's up to them. It's up to anyone. Maybe they are busy, or maybe it's also because today no project. So it's a cool day, right? Then when you just think that the probation will be ending, tomorrow is the final project for the probation. Like finally. But that's just a false sense of assurance actually. Because nothing changes after the project. The project is not going to get easier. You're not going to understand it more. Nothing changes. It's basically the same thing. And of a truth, it looks like people are chilling. You know, when you came, I was talking about the how ALX was a marathon and not a sprint. That all those initial energy into it. Well, calm down. Calm down. So you have to go low. And now, what would keep you here? Like every other thing in life, your ability for this energy to go, and you still continue to fight to to make sure that yes, get what you're looking. That's what you here. So for you being here, that's very, very. So let's talk now. Let's discuss. For all of us here, do we understand the if and else statement? Do we understand if and else statement? You okay. So let's start to take it from the if statement C is a statement that helps you to compare things and helps your program to act based on conditions. If statements help your program to act based on conditions, based on certain conditions, your program is now going to do certain things. And these are this in normal life, this is what we do every time. For example, there's a condition you would see now and you would start running. There's something that would happen and start running. So you may start playing a song like this. There's something that would happen now where you are, and you would start to run like, and then maybe people around you will say, why are you running? And they start laughing. For example, if unexpectedly an insect just flies and pets your body suddenly, before you know what is happening, you'll run. That's a condition. Something caused that thing to happen. And if statement It's like you determining what would cause what to happen. So what would cause your code to run? What would cause your code not to run? That's how if statement. Last time I did use the example of light and Jane. If there's light, you watch this. So it means that no matter what, there is no light, you're not going to watch that thing. That's the general definition of an if statement. One if statement, for it to work, needs to work with some kind of conditions. And you know how we store data. How do we store data in so far? You're asked that question because for you to successfully write an if statement, you have to store data. So if you're asked now, how do you store data? What would be your response to how do you store data? What would really be your response? Something we've talked about time and again. So what would be your response to how we store data? Any answers? Yes, Mr. David.
Can we store data using variables? Like we use variables to store our data.
Exactly. 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 As simple as that. Store data as using variables. And so for us to have an if statement that will be successful, we have to store data somewhere. And with that data, we are now going to compare. We are now going to compare that data with our condition. And we'll be able to have an if. How this brief preview of how if statements work. Be able to help you so that you can write your next if statement. So let's look at examples of statements. We've said that we'll have to have data and then we are going to compare the data we have, some kind of conditions. So let me seed into a folder and let's create this folder now. We want to call this one mkdir. So let's say the 4. And let's seed into the 4. And in this day 4, I want to have our first file called file.c.
You're not showing your screen, sir.
Oops.
You're not showing your screen.
Sorry about that. All right. So yes, that's me. An error from me. Sorry. Now the screen is big. So we have this. And what can we do now? Once again, you know your normal regulars. stdio.h int main come down and yes. So now let's say this data is 10, or let's call this variable age, right? Give it a value of 10. And here, let's try to write an if. Want this statement to have the condition that it's going to work if. So if this age is 10, it should print something. How can we do that? Simply by typing it and then followed by this. If. So then down here, we'll now end it. This is how to write an if statement. Just this. In here would be the condition. Here would be what would happen if this condition is. So let's do that now. So this is the general syntax. If bracket open and bracket close, then these curly braces here. So now we just talked about this. Let's work with it. So let's say if age equal to 10, we want to print. Can we print here? We want to print happy learning, right? Let's just change the age to 4 so that let's just change the age to 4. Or let me change my condition here. Let me not change the age. Let's say you can now start secondary school. Great. So far from what we've just done here, what don't you? Let's work with it. So far from what we've done here, what don't you? Or do you understand everything we've done here?
A double equal sign.
Fine. In C, when you want to compare values, use double equal sign. Then when you want to assign value, use equal sign. So here we are assigning the value 10 to single equal sign. But here we are comparing the value age equal to 10. So we use double equal. Exactly.
No, sir.
Here we are assigning the value 10 to age. So anywhere we have age, the value will be 10. You understand that?
Yes.
Here we are saying is age equal to 10. They are not the same thing. Here we are saying store 10 inside age. Here we are asking is age equal to 10. So when we want to ask if it's equal to, we use double equals. But when we want to give values, when we want to store 10 inside age, on 10. Let me explain it this way finally. Okay, you've gotten it. Great. So age equal to 10. If yes, we want to now print if you can start second. If we run this code now by mere looking at it, what do you think will? By mere looking at it, what do you think?
You can now start secondary school.
Exactly.
Since the age equals to 10,
Yes.
you print out, you can now start secondary school.
Exactly. Exactly. Correct. The concepts we are working on is the if else statement is. But now, what would we print out here? What would be printed out? Look at the screen now. What would be printed out with exactly what we have now? Nothing to add, nothing to remove. What would get printed out? Look at what we have. What would get printed?
You are not identified secondary. You are not specified.
Sorry?
We haven't specified what should be printed if it's not equal to 10.
Fine. So if I run this code, what will happen? What would it print? I know I've not specified. So what would it print? What would it print?
I guess it should go and
Okay, throw an error. Fine. Now let's see if it will throw an error. Want to compile using GCC file.c, and then with the output file 1. So it doesn't show me any error after compiling. You see that? So if I run this, what would happen? Since it's not showing me any compile error, what do you think would print out if I run this? Look at the answer. Did you get what just happened now? Because we did not specify what will happen. Nothing happened. You understand it? We have just said if age is equal to 14, should print and now start second. While age is clearly equal to 10, not 14. So nothing happened. And so for us to have the next thing that would happen, we have to specify if or use an else statement to specify. Do you understand that? We now have to use an else. So if I use an else statement here now, I can now write printf you cannot start secondary, right? School. So I can write something like this now and give to our program. And now, just as you would imagine, if I try to compile this and run it, it will print out you cannot start secondary school. Not the finest of logic there to implement, because if someone is 10, you should start. And then if someone is 14, you should actually start more. So, but here we are now saying it should not start. So, does it make sense, But yes, what I just wanted this to do was to give you an idea of how the if else statement works. So far, any question? Please go ahead.
Yes, please, I have a question. So, good evening, Bwave.
Yes.
So, what it means is that if in that condition statement, if you now type if age equal to let's say 9, then it will still print you cannot start secondary school, right? Let's say if age equal to 9,
Yes.
will it print you cannot start secondary school since it is not up to 10?
Exactly.
As long as the age is not equal to what we are assigning it to, it's going to print the S statement.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Great. That's it. So your program, this C, is so dumb that if you don't tell it something, it won't know. As long as it's not equal to 10, every other condition is false. So the C works with this if statement now works with either true or false. Whether this age is equal to 10 or it's not. And if it's not equal to 10, we are never going to print this now at second. Now, where does else if come into? Else if, where does it come? Let's say we have multiple conditions. So like what we've just done here now, if age is equal to, so let's say if age is equal to 10, want to print, you can now start secondary. What other ages can we have now? You can have an age equal to 9, right? You can have an age equal to 9. So we do the same thing. If age is equal to 9, What can we print out now? Wait till you are 10 before applying. Okay, so it's just something I can print out. So let's say this person now, another condition. Let's do another condition. Else if. So what other age can this person be? This person could be 8 years, right? It could also be 7. It could be 6. It could be 5. It could be 4. And so for all the lesser than 10, you think we are now going to start doing else if, else if, else if, else if, else if forever? That makes sense.
No.
Fine. So what can we do? Because if I do this now, it will just simply be me doing. Just simply be me coming here forever. Oops. Obviously, my code didn't understand. Let me change it. Okay, else if age is equal to 8. Now I want to go ahead. Another printf for no, the same thing again and again and again and again. And you can already tell my code will soon be boring. Wait till you are 10. And if I do this, till 0, my code will just be unnecessarily long. So how can I tell my code that rather than do all this unnecessarily long thing, we just want to check if the age is equal to 10, print this. If it's, so you can see 9 lesser than 10, 8 lesser than 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, all of them below 10. How can we tell our program here that if the age is below 10, it should tell the person to wait? What can we use to tell our program?
I think you use the less than sign. So it will be if age, if into brackets age less than 10, then print wait till you are 10 before applying.
Fine, exactly. So rather than all of this, you can just say if it's less than 10, wait till you are 10. So to do that, I'm going to remove all these plenty else if statements that I have here. Just write 1 because that's the only thing I need. So rather than this else if 9, you can come here to say else if age is lesser than 10. So in C, this is the lesser than sign. This one. So as long as the age is less than 10, print out wait till you are 10 for applying. Now let's go ahead and try this. From what we have here, you can already see what it will print. Because our age is equal to 10. And then we are saying if age is equal to 10, print out this. Our age is clearly equal to 10, so it's going to print out the first condition. Let's try that and see if it will work. Let's try that now. They say it's print out, you can now start secondary school. Clear enough. But what if we come here and please, someone's mic is on and it's giving us serious issues. Mr. Ibrahim, please. Your mic is on and it's all right. Seems some other person mic is okay. Now let's go ahead and change. So what do we change now? I want the so let me pretty much change my age 9 here. And let's see what it would print out for. Compile this. All right. It says wait till you are 10 for applying. So far, is this clear? Because the next thing we are going to look at now, somewhat more complicated than this. But so far, is this clear?
Yes, it is.
Fine. And so this is how if, else if. But what if this age is higher than 10? What can we do? If this age is higher than 10, we could create another else if, right? And say if age higher than 10. Then we come down here and put in some kind of condition. And I can say you can start secondary school, right? This would make sense. And so let me change my age variable. So be, let's say, 13. Let's see what happens. Now we have three conditions. Age is equal to 10, else if age is less than 10, else if age is greater than 10. Let's go ahead and file this and then run it. So it tells us you can now start secondary school. Quite clear. If it's not clear, because this class is for you, please, if it's not clear for whatever reason, do well to ask questions. But now, how silly could our program become? Just try to think of a problem with our program right now. Try to think about one problem with our program now. Just try to think about one problem. With what we have here, we have if age is equal to 10, if it's less than 10, or if it's greater than 10. In real life, though, what problem could we have with our programs with this code?
What if I believe now, if you want to use the new statement, it has to be closed with that I will see our program not closed. I guess that's the problem we have.
I couldn't hear you clearly.
Using this statement, so I think it's expected to close it with else. So with our program that we're using now, we don't have else yet. So basically, I think our program is incomplete without closing it else.
Oh, all right, fine. Is there any other problem you can notice? So there's an else problem here. There's an else problem here. Any other problem you can notice? Try to think. We've just said if it.
Okay, one thing I can notice is initially we already said that if age is equal to 10, then print you can now start secondary school. Then here again, we're now saying if age is greater than 10, you should still. I'm confused now.
Okay. Fine.
So I think, hello?
Yes.
I think what I can identify is initially our conditional statement was 10. So the value we added to the variable was 10. So I think when we were trying to modify it, what we were changing was the value, which I don't think is what was supposed to be changed.
Okay. All right. For this one, of course, what you change is the value. You don't change your condition because what we are looking for is 10. So we are putting different values to see our condition. But see what could make our program become C just now. It would run. But in real life, this program could become C. So I want to say this person has an age of 74. Now let's compile this. So what does it print out for this 74-year-old person? You can now start. Yes. And I know some people are going to tell you, oh, there's nothing you cannot achieve. There's one man in my village, one woman somewhere that I know, started school at old age. But at 74, does it make sense that our program is still telling this man now, this grandfather, that is now eligible to start sick? In real life, if you write a program that's going to do, would it really make sense? Does that logic work quite well? What do you think? I don't know if you're using an earpiece or some kind of audio connected device because I can't hear clearly, and it's usually when someone is using an earpiece. I used to have this issue. Yes.
We should just change the last if statement to if A is greater than 18. I say greater than is greater than or equal to 18. Then you can start secondary school. But if above 18, you can't start
Hmm. Fine. So you are introducing us to another if again. If above 18, you cannot start secondary school. Fine. And so you start thinking now, what can we tell our user? You're correct. Please, you can mute now so avoid holdbacks.
Please, can other people try to mute their mic so that I can hear him, please? Thank you very much.
Okay, I hope. Mr. Ibrahim, please always be alert. Be on the alert about your mics. Once you're done, to avoid holdbacks, you can always mute. All right, so now what we've just said is if age is greater than 10, start secondary school. But we want to pretty much end it at somewhere. Want to tell our LC, our statement to end at somewhere. That is past so age. Tell the person you have to calm down. Maybe start university or school is not for you. So how can we do this in terms of logic without writing another else if? We can come down to this our last else if and say else if age is greater than 10 and age is less than. So what age can we say at this secondary school? So when we say secondary school, we are saying from GS1, let's say from 10 years. Because you can now start. So the person is about to start. And if the person is about to start, that would be from class 1 or GS1. And so at what age would we say, maybe it's too old to start GS1?
13.
Okay, so 13. Let's just for the benefit of doubt. So someone may have some kind of
Let's say
serious,
20.
yes, someone may have an ailment.
Or maybe 20 will be too old.
Yes. So let's say 18. So let's say person has an ailment and had to undergo surgery, and the rehab process, maybe before this person would fit back is already 18, 17. So we can still allow this person start second. What this person now, before his feet back, is like 21, can now start looking for another condition. So that's what this clause here do. So it introduces you to another operator, the and operator. Already, most times when I write, I use this and sign. But in C, you don't use only one and, use two. That's just the law governing the and. So we are saying if age is greater than 10 and age is less than 8, friends, you can now start secondary school. Now let's try this. We want to print this person now should be around 15 years.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir. I thought the AND statement is used to access the address of the variable created.
Oh, this is one of the reasons why programming is very, very complicated. Today, one thing means this, another day it means another thing. In this case, AND statement is not used to address memory location. But in that case, when we are now talking about pointers, this same AND that you're seeing here will now have a different meaning. So it all boils down to you just practicing. You said?
I think when it will be addressing to be talking about the address of the variable is when this and sign is directly with that maybe figure or the variable if it is written together, not separate like this.
Yes. But if you write them together there, your code will not run. And so in if statement, this and means something else. And then that's and percent. And that's why it's always called and percent. When it has to do with scanf and pointers means another thing. But for now, this means and you can see it's double and, not one single address joined with it together. So these things could mean different things at different times. Let's try to compile this now and run it. So it tells us you can start secondary school. Exactly what we're looking for, because we are now saying this person's age is 15. All right. But now let's change this 15 now. See if our code works. Back to that. What age are we looking at now? What age should we put here? What age?
75.
75.
23.
23. So let's say, okay, 23. But what if we try this age?
70 years old man. 70 years old man.
So let's try this Asari Dokubo's age of 70-year-old man. So maybe I should write 70-year-old man. Obviously, this will not work. So let's use 70 first. Then we'll come back and try 90. See what happens. Watch what would happen now. And it will bring us to our final piece of the if-else statement. Oops. Instead of compiling, right? And or who can tell us what will happen just before we go ahead and compile? Age is 70, and our else if ends it at 18.
You will have no printout result.
Thank you. Exactly. Now you get it. Correct.
Your program it will not print out anything.
Yes. And when we compile this, of a truth, it doesn't print out because we didn't tell it what to print. So you see this if else statement act exactly based on true or false, yes or no. It's a robot. Go or come. Doesn't assume anything for you. And so lastly, we can now have, do we have an else if statement again? Or what do we conclude with? What can we conclude our statement with now? What can we conclude our if statements in this case with?
We can conclude this with else. Else is else spring.
I think it should be
Then. Fine, then. Shell variables reminds me of then. But in C, we have if, else. So else also means then. But by logic, we can't write then. You see, C does not even understand that. So we can use else. Else, what can we print out?
Try again in your next slide.
Hey, whoa, violence is high. Very harsh. Your program would bring tears to a lot of people who may be sitting on this table that you're trying to shake. And so you can use whatever, but we are not going to that kind of violence, even myself. And so let's just go ahead and say try again. So you're officially writing codes now to cause problem. And let's see what happens when we run this. There was something I just did, and let's see if C punishes me for that. No, it doesn't. And all right. So for this 70-year-old man, I'm going to try again. Not going to ever get the opportunity to try again. And so this is how if, else if, and else work. Now, any number you put in here, these are condition. What number does it not cover? What number does it cover? Like, what would we put here now that our condition will not be able to? What number would we put here that our condition will not be able to? Previously, we've done some conditions that when we compile our program and when we run it, nothing will happen because the program cannot read it. There's no specification. In this case, what number can this thing not read? What do you think? What do you think? I'm getting no response.
The question again, sir. The question again. The program will read all the numbers.
Exactly. That's it. So we've covered from 0 to as much numbers as you can think. Let's just go ahead and try. Let's say an age that doesn't exist. So we all know that this age specifically does not exist. There's nothing like nobody here that would live up to 1,000 years, whether you like it or yes. At least not in this world. And let's try to run this now to cover this thing. So it covers all the numbers as high as you think it is, or as low as it could be. So let's now remove this thing to 2 years. It's also going to cover that number of. And then when we try to run, there's wait till you are 10 before applying. You see how powerful this if statement is now. We've pretty much used 1, 2, 3, and 4 statements to cover all the numbers we would have. Just 4 conditions. With this now that you've known, try this. So if you're with your system, if you have Ubuntu, you're using code blocks, try this. We want a program that would accept ages from users between 15 to 35. For ages of 20, we want to give them special attention. For ages of 30, we want to tell them to take this seriously. For ages of 34 and 35, we want to tell them to do everything they can to succeed now because time is not really on their side. And then we want to warmly welcome everyone who doesn't fall under these specified ages, 34, 35, 30, and 20. You have an if-else statement to print out this. What would be your first step? What would be your first step to print out this?
We first declare variable. Int.
Yes, first declare variables. Great. Now, this is the part that has to do with pseudocode, breaking down this question. Then you now finally end with solving it. And so, what are your steps to solve this problem? See, this problem has already been broken down by each of the space I gave. So, for example, if I have done something like this, it could have been a little much more complicated. Or if I had just done something like this, just to make everything look like one rough, big this thing, ask you to read, but I've broken this down into plenty parts, that can make you understand what steps we have to. All right, I can hear you now. So what's your thought process for? What's your thought process? We have hands up. Please go on. Motola.
Okay, so I think, I don't know, that's just my own thoughts. I might be wrong. So what I think is we are going to declare a variable by saying int, then we'll now do something like age, then 15 dot dot 35. So that's 15 dot dot 35 covers 16, 17, 18, 19, all through 35, instead of having to write from number 15 to 35, then we can now go ahead and write our code on if-else statements.
Fine, I was trying to get you
Hello?
clearly, but then the network broke at one important place where you were saying. But we're talking about creating a variable.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so I said we are going to create a variable. I said I might be wrong, but what I think is we are going to create a variable and write something like int, then age, then we are going to do 15 dot like two full stop, then 35. So it will cover 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, like all through like that till 35. Then after declaring the variable of 15.35, then we can now go ahead and start writing our if age is 20, then print this. If else, if 30, then print this. Like as long as those ages does not fall in between 15 to 35. I'm confused. I don't know.
Thank you. I just like the process. Any other person wants to tell us how would you do it?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Welcome.
In my own view, the first thing is to declare the variable by
Okay.
saying, we first of all write the function, which is the important, like void, I mean, a main function, that int main, open brackets and all that. Then the second one would be declaring of variable. That is by saying int age is equal to 15 less as in greater less equal sign and less than sign, like equal or greater than 15, comma, to equal or less than 35. I don't know if I'm making sense before we now start writing the if else statement.
Thank you. Thank you for that process too. Anyone wants to finally try some?
Hello, Mr. B.
Yeah, lastly.
Hello, Mr. B.
Yes, we
I'm
can
looking
hear
at
you.
the question from another perspective. This, I think the first one and the second one does not require if statement. Just change the value.
Okay, so tell us what you would do
For, for,
as part of your thought process.
our integer to be age. So at the point of printing for age 20, you can only say age 20 and write the print statement. Understand? At the point of declaring age 30, that's where you can only say age, change the variable at that point and write the print statement. So I'm getting to for age 34 and 35, and now bring in if. So that would be if age is less than 30, okay, maybe it's less than 33, greater than 34. So we can print the next statement.
Thank you. Now, thank
So,
you for
finally,
all your answers. What is important here is not whether you are wrong or you are right, and that's why we are not in the code environment. This is where you have time to think of every possible scenario. But the more useless the scenario may be in your head, the better. It helps you to filter out the ones that don't make sense. So you're narrowed to a one that makes sense. So if it were me, what I'll first do is like taking 5 minutes to read this thing again and again. It's probably the only time when I read out things loud. So if you were here with me, what you would see me shouting is, we want a program. How did they write program? Program. That is code now. That accepts only ages from users between 15 to 35. Wait, oh, the program is going to accept ages from users between 15 to 35. Only ages from users between 15 to 35. Wait. This program is going to accept only ages from users between 15 to 35. For you to accept something, what must first happen? For you to be able to accept something, what must first happen?
That means there must be a request before you can accept it.
Exactly. With that answer now, what is the first thing you would probably do to start solving this problem?
The creation of variable.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Aside from all this, include stdio.h stuff and its main, then the creation of variable is the next.
Okay. Yes. What would that variable do?
Actually, I just joined this thing now. But according to the questions, in my own perspective, I think we should declare a variable. Example now, int n. Then we start our if statement by saying if n equal to 20, then printf, give them special attention. Also, else if n equals to 30, then printf, we want to tell them to take the CSV. Then else if age is 34 and n is 35, we want to take them to do everything to succeed now. Then S, welcome everyone warmly who doesn't fall under this age.
And thank you.
My
You've just
perspective,
given us all the things you would have done. Great. But we just said that for our program to be able to accept, there has to be a request. So what's the first thing I'll do with that message? That's it. What can I do? What can I do? Mr. Vincent, if you're here, can you tell us what we can? Okay, Mr. Power says question again for those of us that. Okay, I've repeated that a couple of. Mr. Vincent still here. Can you tell us what we can now do? Okay, do we have Pasasi raising her hand? Please, you can go on.
Sorry, I forgot to raise it down when I talked the other time.
Okay. Okay, so the very first thing.
Sorry, sir. Okay. I think that we use scanf.
Okay, what would you scanf to do?
To receive input.
Fine. So first step is to receive inputs. That's the very first step. Now, what is the inputs we are going to receive?
Okay, the user input. The ages of the student.
Fine. So we can say ages. Between where and where?
Between 15 to 35.
Fine. So this is my first step. This is a pseudocode. So first receive the ages between 15 to 35. To be able to receive age now, what do I need to do?
Declaration of
We declare a
age.
variable.
Fine.
Yes.
So I could put 1a, that is under this one step, I have to declare a variable. And what can I set this my variable to?
Age.
And what would be the value of this variable?
To the start date.
It will be is equal to 15 or greater than.
Fine. All right. Let's
What?
and we want to set the value to 35. Am I correct? I was hearing someone say 35. Do you all agree?
No. No. Sure. Because it can declare more later.
Please, that first statement, this pseudocode, I don't think we should include 15 to 35 there. Considering the final, the last statement we are to print. Finally, welcome everyone warmly who doesn't fall under these ages. So it means we'll have other ages. Now, for example, if someone supplies 40, age 40, in our program, we are supposed it should accept that 40 and welcome that person warmly. But declaring in this first sentence that it should be 15 to 35, it will affect that other ages.
I like this thought.
Yes, sir. Okay, okay.
I like
Since we are
it.
going to allow the user input, then I don't think we have to give the variable value.
Exactly. So once you are allowing the user to give it its own value, you don't give it any value. And then someone just called out this, that it's not supposed to be between 15 to 35. Because here we said welcome everyone warmly who doesn't fall under these ages. And these ages were not specified. So how do we know that it must be between 15 to 35? Meanwhile, the down here says welcome everyone who don't fall under these ages. How do we now know?
I think since we are using, I don't know, the person that gave this idea said we are going to use scanf to receive input. We have not started our if-else statement at all. So I think the first one will now be if age is
No, you're going to if. We'll come there. The question is, someone just made a statement. We said welcome everyone who doesn't fall under these ages warmly. And then we are saying here that in our first statement, we're only receiving 5. But the last one says we should welcome everyone who does not fall under this age warmly. So is this wrong? And if you say it's not wrong, why is it not wrong?
Okay, I want to explain the code right now. After declaring a variable, let's assume we are making some age as our variable now. That's age. Then we are going to allow the user input using scanf. Then after allowing the user input, this finally welcome everyone warmly who doesn't fall under this age will be in the last statement to print. That is, it will fall under S. ELSA.
Okay, thank you. So I have not really gotten the answer. Now, I don't know. I didn't see who exactly said this. But what you said with this last statement would look correct until you read the first one. So our program is only accepting ages from users between 15 to 35. If the age from the user is not between 15 to 35, it's not going to accept it. This example was gotten from how ages ALX did say their program is for. I don't know if they implement it, or if you read, I think the program requirements is around 50, 35, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if they implement it. I'm sure they did, but that is the requirement. And so if you were asked to implement something like this, the first thing is that if the person age is between 50 and 35, that's when this next set of things. And so this last line that says, welcome everyone warmly who doesn't fall under this age. We're talking about this age, 34, 35, 30, and so on. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And so we said that the first thing we want to do is to receive ages between 15 to 35. And under this first step, we'll now have something like 1A. For us to be able to receive ages, we'll now have to declare a variable called age. And you could have another step like storing the variable, storing the user inputs into the variable called age. Any questions as to these first three steps? That is this first step, and then 2 steps under this first one. All right, I will take, while waiting for questions, or if there is none, what will be the last step to actually complete this thing? So once we declare a variable called age, store whatever the user will type into that variable. Then what would we do lastly to complete this receive ages between 15 to 35?
Is to assign the number to the variable.
That's what we just did here. By storing it, we assigned. Oh, what do we do?
I said by assigning the number to the variable.
Fine, you're correct. That's what we just did in this second step. So what of our third one? We want to receive ages between 15 to 35. So if it were you, what would you do? You've declared a variable called age. You've stored the user input into the variable called age. What is the next step to complete this step 1?
Hello.
Yes, please. You can go on.
I said assigning the number to the variable.
We've done that already. That's what we did here. What's the next step? We've done that. We've assigned the number to the variable called age.
Then we are going to start the if else statement.
So what are we going to if here?
Okay, if open bracket n equal to 20, then int f, you want to give them special attention. No, Joe.
Okay. But something is lacking here. Especially here. Focus is on here now. What am I going to do? Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, this is Ayuba. I think after accepting the user's inputs, the next thing to be done is that to confirm if the value supplied by the user falls within the age bracket that we want to start checking. That means we'll start by if age is greater than or equal to, that is greater than equal to 15, and the double ampersand that you used the other time, and age is less than or equal to 35. That gives us the range of 15 to 35. Then we can now start checking some other things. That's my...
Exactly. Exactly.
Why are we going to solve the edges of 20?
Do you,
I need special attention.
do you
And
understand?
30, if we have concluded or going to if 15, between age 15 to 35.
Okay.
Because there's a step before that. For the ages of 20, we want to give them special attention.
Okay.
So the program will have jumped to the top step.
The ages,
the if statement inside if statements.
yes.
Okay, nice.
There's a bit that will start, and that is the one that will check for the age that are these the inputs given by the age the user is giving us.
Yes.
Is it between the 15 to 35? That's the first check.
Okay.
If it's in them, then inside that if there will now be another if that will now start checking outside that if will be the else for any other person that is not within that first one will now be
Yes.
yes.
Exactly.
Exactly. So these are the steps. Now we are done with all these 3 steps falls under step 1. And if you look at step 1, that's exactly what the question asks us to do here. With these steps, let's go and write the so let's create a new file now and call this, maybe call it ax1.c. So once again, back to our step. We want to declare a variable called age. So we can say int age, and this would be under the step called declare a variable called age. So let me copy this now and paste it. Next thing we want to do is storing the user input to the variable called age. And it will bring us to these second steps now. We have to allow the user. So you could come here and decide to say, prompt the user to enter, or you could just abstract it by using this one. So let me copy this and go ahead to prompt the user now. To prompt the user to give me his age. And after that, we want to store and I'm missing something. In here, we can now do %d and use the and sign. So this is where the and operator now has a difference meaning. Now talking about memory address and with this sign, we've stored the user input. You can go ahead to write another. Could go ahead here now to write the description of this. Prompt the user for age. And finally, what's the next step? If the age is fall between 15 to 35, we want to just move on. So let's make sure that the user cannot impute any age that is not within 15 to 35. So we can now start with if. So Mr. Ayuba, can you tell us what kind of things can I put in my if statement? Like you were explaining that time. So that we can code along with you.
Okay, what I said, can I go on?
Yes, please.
Okay, I said we'll use if now age greater than equal to 15, then space and double and age less than equal to 35. Double, the and is double, oh, not single. $35, yes. I think this will check for the input in that bracket of 15 to 35.
Fine. So can I have something like a printf and say this? Can I have something like a printf to exactly do this? And then an else statement that will tell the user what. Maybe, sorry, only ages between 15 to 35 is allowed.
No, I think the else will now be the answer to the last statement in that something that says congratulate any other person, something like that. That's what the printf there will be.
Okay, fine.
Then finally, welcome everyone who doesn't fall under this age.
Fine. But doing that now will now bring us to the second, third, fourth, fifth steps. Remember, I want to take it one step at a time. So I want to be sure that this step now is correct first. Then we move over to this one, and this one, and this one, and then this one. And so that's why we have this. This whole thing is to first test whether this step is correct. So let's go and test that now. Meanwhile, prepare your question. It works. Oops. This is tax 1. Tax 1. I want to call it tax 1. So it works. Now let's try to run tax 1. It says enter your age. Okay, so I say my age is 20. It now says go on to the next steps. Let's try this again to be sure it works. So what can we do? Enter your age, 50. You can see the message is print out. Sorry, only ages between 15 to 35 is allowed. Let's try one more thing. Let's say age 14. It's not allowing it. So it seems now that with what we've done, only ages between 15 to 35 are allowed. Now we can move on to the next. Once again, please, if you're not speaking, kindly mute.
I guess that's Ibrahim, am I right?
No, it's Vincent. Faki,
These Lagos boys, they can disturb.
Okay, so this things happen now and again. The time of Zoom and Corona period, there was one president who was caught on camera doing some kind of things, and so even presidents make this kind of mistakes. So it's normal. So with what we've done now, we've now introduced you to something like lesser than or equal to this and sign, greater than or equal to. You understand how these things works now? Questions based on what we've done. questions based on what we've done so far before we move over to the next set of steps? Question.
Sorry, what you did initially before you changed it down to 14 and 36, said if age greater than or equal to 15, then print, go on to the next step. Then if age less than or Abi, no, if age greater than or equal to 15, then go on to the next step. And if age less than or equal to 35, sorry, sorry, only age between 15 to 35 is allowed. But 35 also accommodates, it should be the max is 35. So if somebody's age is still 35, shouldn't the person also be admitted?
Yes, the person is admitted less than or equal to. If the age is less than or equal to 35 or equal to.
Okay, so what will it print?
If the person is 35, with this command that says if the person is less than 35 or equal to 35, see the next line here. It moves on to the next step.
Okay. Okay, I understand.
Fine. And so since I have next steps here, I can now do if age is, I have next steps. I don't want to end my program at this point. What can I now do? I don't want to end my program at this point. So I can now think, rather than putting ages. So there are a couple of things I can do. Another one is to add an if statement here. Or another one is to completely modify this thing. To say if age is lesser than or equal to 15, if age is lesser than 15, and if age is greater than 35, it should print out this, and then it should also move on to the next steps. So I'm thinking now, which one will be more understandable? Yeah, Mr. David, are you trying to say something?
Yes. Sorry that I'm pulling you back. I'm very sorry. But there is a comment that someone made the other time about this if open brackets age lesser than equals to 15. So there was something someone said initially, said age equals to 15 dot 35. So I want to ask, that idea, what's that idea work? Like to range between 15 to 35 instead of putting all these greater than less than side. Because when she said it, I thought it's making sense. Like, yes, from 15, then dot 35. You understand? So I want to ask if that one, like, if that one can also work.
Yeah, this is exactly what we are doing there. The dots. Your compiler and C will not understand your dots. So how do you make it understand the dots? That's where we're now bringing these conditions. If it's this and this. Do you understand?
Okay, yeah.
Yes. So one thing we can do is that if age is lesser than 15 and these ages are greater than 36, what do we want to print now? What can we print? Since we have next steps, what can we print? Remember I said this else is just a temporary way for us to check if our first logic. And now I've changed everything I did previously. And do you understand what I'm now doing? you understand what I'm doing next here now? What I just did now. You understand what I just Do you understand it? I don't know if you can hear me, but I'll need response. Do you understand what I did?
We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
But I don't understand. I really don't.
Maybe you should complete it first, then explain.
Because I've completed it actually. Exactly. I was looking for questions like that. Now, this is it. Let's try to compile this thing first. And let me do tax 1. So I just decided to do something now that tests you. Obviously, I'm saying if this age is less than 15 and this age is greater than 36, you should print out this. For my compiler can clearly not understand what I've just done. True. Even to the compiler, what I've just done, magic. But the logic was, if this age is lesser than 50, right? And this age is greater than 36. Or yes?
I think and will not be able to match the two groups. So
Yes.
you are saying less than 15, and is it possible to be less than 15 and greater than 35?
No.
I don't think it's possible.
Exactly. Exactly. So maybe this would have been better.
Maybe all will work. Thank you.
Exactly. And this is what I was really expecting. Either some people would say, I don't understand, or will probably spot out an error with what we just. But if you understood what we did previously, then after now, we can just leave it like that. But let's do something now to try to explain it to you. Because the two things are the same. But since only one person here that understood, that saw the deliberate error I made, so that we'll have some kind of errors, let's explain again. What Mr. Ayuba said was what we did the first time, and then I explained the logic. But if you see here, our program has for ages of 20, ages of 30, ages of 34 and 35. As long as it's within the age range of 15 to 35. So what I just did in my program was, after asking the user to enter and use the scanf function here, I came to my if statement and said if the age is less than 15 or the age is greater than 35, it should come here and say, please, I'm sorry, your age is less than 50 or your age is greater than 35. So it's not allowed. Do you understand it now?
So it's the same thing with what we did at the first place.
Exactly. But now, fewer lines of code. Instead of having and, we have or. And then instead of.
Sorry, if you run this code now and maybe impute like 20, what will happen?
Let's try it. Let's try it. See that nothing happens.
Yes.
Because we are not yet through with our next set of steps.
Okay.
But anything below 15, you can try it. 14. Let's try 15. Try 36. try 35. Anything below 15 or above 35 would give us problems. So this is another operator I wanted to introduce to you. Or we are now comparing two things. If this one or this one do this. Previously, what we did is if it's between 15 and 35, do this. But what we are saying now, if it's lesser than 15 or is greater than 35, just the way it makes sense to you. But what I previously did, which Mr. Ayuba spontaneously pointed out, was if it's less than 15 and greater than 35, can it be less than 15 and greater than 35 at the same time? No. But it's either less than 15 or greater than 35. We can now do this. The whole first part of our problem is being implemented. Now you can now write simple these programs to do this. For ages of 20, give them special attention. Ages of 30, tell them to take this seriously. Ages of 34 and 35, tell them to do everything to succeed now. So let's go ahead and do that. Who would tell me the next set of steps to take? If you understood what we've done so far, tell me the next set of steps to take. If you don't understand what we've done so far, please also tell me that currently now you are lost. Mr. Believe, I see your question. I hope I just answered it now. It's more of the logic.
The next thing I'm going to do is, now that we have allowed the inside input, like the inside input should be between 15 and 35. Then we are going to this thing, make use of if statement again inside that if statement. Then that if statement will be like if age is greater than or equal to, according to the question, I can't remember the question, sir. Okay. That should be if age equal to 20, then print F, you want to give them special attention. F if age equals to 30, print F, you want to take them to take this seriously. If age, sorry, S if, okay, that's fine again now.
Yes, you're correct so far with your steps. And now let's go and implement it. It's very simple now to do 1 and 3. Just the way you're saying it. So where do I write my next thing? Is it outside of these curly braces that ends this statement or inside of it?
Outside of it.
Outside.
Exactly.
Outside.
It's outside. Exactly. We are done with the if. The if statement was to check that our age is between 15 to 35. Now we've checked that the if ages are between 15 to 35.
Sorry, cut you. Sorry, I just want to be sure that I understand this first if. Does it mean that this age above 35 and greater or equal to 15?
No,
and less than and equal to 30. Are they the same?
This is a less than sign.
Will it give us the same results?
This is a greater than sign.
I know this one you did now.
Yes.
This operator you do, and that ampersand one, that and that is the you use that first time. Will they give us the same result? That's what I want to know.
Yes. But if I turn this or here to and, it won't give us the same result.
Okay.
If I change this
Yes, yes,
or
yes. That is
to
what I
and,
want to
it
understand.
won't give me the same result. But the way I just did it now, it would give me the same results. So I could go ahead and say something like else if what? According to the question, else if what?
If age equals, if like double equal sign 20.
Okay, great. Can now go ahead and print whatever we want to print.
No,
Okay.
I think for ages of 20, the meaning is people in 20s. That is from 20 to 29. Ages of 20. Or because the question, interpretation of the question to me says for ages of 20. That means people in their 20s, not 20 specifically. That is 21, 22 to 29. However, if that is it, people between 15 and 20, 15 to 19 are not mentioned at all in this something. How do we treat that?
Fine. So I just spotted that out and let me clear it. By just saying for age 20.
Okay.
So it's just for age 20, not actually the range, just 20.
Okay, sorry, sir. I want to get it clear. So, assuming it was that ages that was there, that means what this brother said is what we will do, Abi. Is there difference between ages and age?
Yes.
Or we are just
In
declaring,
English
okay.
language, yes, could be really confusing. Yes, because when we say ages, in the whole range. But let's not try to put that. Yes, we can do that here, but it would conflict with our 34 and 35 if we do ages of 30.
Yes, it will scatter the whole thing.
Yes, so because of that, let me rearrange my statement to mean 20, 30, 34, and 35. And it means there are a lot of ages that are not covered here. And that would be why I would have this final welcome. So now, can we do something? Print F for 20, then welcome, you serve special attention. Why should we kind of use this? I don't know, maybe because 20 looks sweet, but in reality it's not. And so someone at 20 really gets serious. But let's just use this. Do what we want to do. If I was writing this code on my own, for every instance I do, I'm going to compile and check. So I know where my error comes from if I have an error eventually. Let me say 20. So does our code works out well? Is our code working well so far?
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it's it.
And so once we've done that, turns out there's another method we can use. But for now, let's claim we don't know about switch. Now that we're trying to understand the hang of LC. So can someone tell me what to put here now?
Age is equal to 30.
Yes, please. So without anyone even telling you, you know that this program is going to run, going to work well, barring any more typos and issues like that. And so we are in ages of 30. Now let's see. Ages of, how do we do this? Someone should now tell me. For age 34, 35. I want to tell them to do everything they can to succeed now. So how do I write that?
Hello.
Yes, please, go on.
Yes. It will be written as if H is equal to 34, and that is 3%. And H is equal to 35. 35. Then print open curly brace. Print, please take this serious.
Yes, that's what we'll print. But apart from Mr. Ayuba, right? Stay here. Apart from Mr. Ayuba,
I'm serious, sir.
yes, please, apart from you, is there any other person that can tell us if you think this would work well on?
I think
I don't
that
think this program
after the 35, in between the 35 and the bracket, there's a space that should not be there.
Okay. Well, so far we've not been putting any. But I think Betty would.
Yes, and the age.
Well, that one is just coding styles. Will not really do anything.
So what I think is, as long as the ages that the user imputes is within this range, 15 to 35, then we would not have any problems. But once the user starts printing the age, like say even 36, say any age that is more than the age that is not here, then it will not print anything.
All right. Thank you. Let's
Can
come.
you show the question again? Last time.
The question is correct. We are looking at the logic now. You think there's a problem or not? You could actually say there's no problem here. There's this thing back in. So there's this thing one of my lecturer used to do. He's going to ask all the questions that are correct and tell you to find faults with them. Then after finding all the faults in the word, it's going to tell you it's correct. So it could be that that's what I'm actually doing. Or it could be that there's a problem.
Okay,
So go on, tell us.
my question is, what if the user imputes age that we not specify? What would it take?
We've treated that one since now. You remember this if statement? That was what we first.
Does it mean only the specified age are the accepted ages for the program?
What does this if statement mean? If it's not within this range,
My point My point is, if the program accepts ages between 18 and 35,
Yes.
so it should accept ages like 16, 17, 18, 19, and 12. And here, I don't think we even make any specification for them. What if a user now input either of these ages that also that can also be found between these 15 and 35? Does it mean that they are not accepted into the program?
I think we did try something, and we'll come to that. And when you look at the question, you can easily see why we have this last step.
I think I know where the error is. It is in.
I don't think you get my point.
Okay, let me compile this first. Try to see if did see the error. That was not the error.
Okay, sir.
Let me compile this. So did you see what just happened? Look at our logic. We said the age for 34 and 35, we want to tell them to do everything to succeed now. But when I press 34 here as my age, nothing happens. When I try to 35, nothing happens. But let's go to VI again. We have a statement that is saying for ages 34 and 35, please take this seriously. So what is our problem? Yes, unfortunately.
I think it's supposed to be off. Cannot be. We cannot be 34 and 35 at the same time.
Exactly.
I think because we declared all at the first instance, so now we have to change it to all. But if we had declared and before, like what the other guy said, we'll have continued with and. Our passive statement was
Is that
Sir,
I don't think so.
in normal English, it should be or, not and.
Exactly.
In normal English.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly the point. Most of these things are normal English that you now try to put. Joseph, correct. It says that condition will never come true. You see this condition that you are calling 34 and 35 at the same time will never come true. Because the age cannot be 34 and 35 at the same time. Except if you are, there's someone I know, is one president that every year his birthday change. Don't know how old he is. One president of one country. Except if you are him, then ages don't swap like that. Someone cannot be 34 and 35 at the same time. And so this condition never come true. Now that we fixed it, let's try to see. Maybe we were whining ourselves. Now let's see 34. Let's see 35. And let's see 22. So we have one piece of puzzle remaining. For all the ages that are not specified here, 20, 30, 34, 35, what do we want to do?
Okay, that's where S
We use the S.
ELSH.
Now let's try that. Let's try your suggestion. So am I going to put a condition now?
No. Just that only bracket that play.
Sadly.
Only bracket.
Okay, curly brackets, fine. But it turns out that C gives us the permission so not to use these brackets. I think one of those few times when they will ever do such a nice thing for you can actually print it like this. Or maybe it's me that is wrong. So let's try it if your suggestion is correct. All right. So it's clear. Let's try again with our
70 years old man.
let's try again with our 70-year-old. All right.
Okay.
Let's try again with all the inputs. And let's try again with 34. 35. Finally, some people in their only job in this life is to scatter your code. So they will see enter your age and they will put this. So is our code scattered? As our code broken with these commands?
No, it can no.
Exactly. So
No,
when we did that,
that's just input. It's inputs.
yes. So when we put that command, only ages between 15, anything you type, no matter the village people, going to return the same error. Only ages between 15 to 35 is allowed. Once again, look at how we were able to do it. So far, so good. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, please ask. While you are asking, please, if you are here now, send me your email that you used to register at GitHub. Just send me your email. Email only that you used to register at GitHub. Mr. David, please. Put it on the in-call message. Yes, yeah. There's something I want to do now for everyone. I told you that these classes will think you more to be like problem solvers. And the course 10 that just passed are having these errors that I want to talk about now. So that in the future you will not have it. Let me. Mr. David, please go on.
Okay. Can you go back to where we have our code, please? Okay. My question now is these two vertical lines.
Yes.
Yeah. Can we simply call it or? Since the other two and is and, so can we call this one or, like the normal English language?
Yes, this is all. It's all in C.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, when you hear all, that's all.
So I have a question.
Please ask.
Because the all sign and the and sign, I got this program very well. We don't even explain. I got it clearly now. But where to use the all, the and the other, I think I need to go and learn more. Or is there specific?
One thing you can do to help you is to try to think more like English language. For this one, if else statement, just English. Right? It's just to think. Where can you say and? For example, and is okay. This is the explanation. I think one of those times I had one of those problems. One of those times I had one of those problems. But let me. Oops. Sorry, please. Not your email. Please tell me your username. Sorry. Oops. Sorry for all these emails. Usernames, please. Okay. Started saying it. Okay. So it's more like English language and makes it the two conditions must be true. For example, for you to join this meeting, you have to have data and a mobile device, laptop, phone. Abi? Person who asks, is it still here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm trying to. Yes, sir. You need to have it.
Now, for you to Moriana 20, they says there's no results for that name on GitHub here. So that is not your username. Please, person who sent it. Your username on GitHub. Lastly. Abu Aisha, they says there's no username like that. Okay, hold on. Yeah, says it's couldn't find it. Let me try that Moriana again. So, and that is it. You have to have internet. Okay, I can see Moriana. Moriana, if you check your email now, you've been invited to something. Let's continue to add people. Now, or means that is and. And is you have to have the two conditions to happen before it would print out. Or means one may be true. For example, I would join the meeting if there's light. Okay, I can choose two fifth grace. I've invited one, the one that I know. Or means if there is light, I will join the meeting. Or if we on gen. You see the difference between and or?
Yes, sir.
That's just it. That is just it.
Okay, sir. I have a question about outside ELS.
Okay, ask.
Okay, my question is that, for example, now, if you want to get our first job as a software engineer now,
Yes.
we all know that ELS is complex. Is that something they are going to be asking, or something like what you are teaching us?
These things that I'm teaching now.
Yes, yes.
Have you ever been to a website where you put your age and it didn't allow you in?
Not really.
Okay. So once you are there to that website now, you understand this simple thing that we've done, how it even works in complex websites. Or have you been to a website where they said plus 18? Or maybe try to create one social media account. Use any age that is not plus 18, it won't work. It's small concept.
Just like in this country.
Exactly. So imagine that company wants to employ you now and you do not pass their simple interview on that or and concept. Is there any hope?
No.
Not even luck can solve that. Can't be lucky enough. So it's as simple as Abu Aish. I don't know if I got that correctly. Sorry. I think I'll have a degree for pronouncing wrongly people's name. But I've sent you an invite already.
You are correct.
Okay, some of you have already accepted my invite. Please, if you have accepted my invite, don't send me your username again. All right, so what I want to do now, Fave, I've sent you. For everyone that I've sent, let's pick some.
I've not seen Tolani. Tolani, you've not sent to me.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Me too. I've not seen any. I've not seen this.
Okay, more would come. Yes, I've not sent Tolani. Just now I'm sending it. I started from the people that I got last. All right, so you can check your mail now, please. At Tolani.
You've not sent mine.
Sorry, please, I have a question.
Yes, please go on.
I'll beat you.
Hashtag includes apostrophe, over apostrophe, main H, and the stdio.h. I want to ask, sometimes there's some codes where it's both of them are being used, and there's also codes where just only the main H is being used. I want to ask, like, what is the criteria for which one is going to be used?
Main.h is a header file. So if I want to use any of the functions defined in main.h, I'm going to use main.h. But now you can see all my functions were straightforward. So I didn't have to use main.
Okay, good. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so if you've gotten your invites now, please, can you, without clicking on any, can you start sharing?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Yes, I've not gotten mine.
Yeah, I'm sending. Some of these people have two names. I don't know. For example, Gazlaw, I'm seeing two names there. I don't know which one to invite.
Also, I haven't gotten mine too.
All right. So what I want to do now is for the next set of projects, I want to start introducing you to GitHub so that as soon as possible, you can start working like professionals in this. And next week, when you are going to, yes?
When I clicked on the invitation on my email, it's telling me, it's giving me 404 error code that do you find anything here? Need to sign in. That's what that means.
You have to sign into GitHub. I hope you're using your accounts that you already signed in. Yes, please. You can go on with. Make sure the same mail you gave me. Make sure the same mail you gave me. If check your email.
I didn't get it. Very well.
Check your email. Okay, Mr. Ibrahim, I can finally see your mail. Great. I can finally see your name. I've invited you, so if you check your email now, you will see. I think I've invited, if I've not invited you already, please send me your email, your name again. But I think I've invited everybody on this. Before you send me, please check your email. Though. Before you send me, please check your email. So far, 19 people have access to the repository. 20 people have access, so more people are accepting it. Great. But just for those great. So 8 invitations has not been accepted yet. It means I've sent invitations to about 8 people. The 8 people are.
I'm here to receive any message.
Okay. The 8 people I sent. Wait, the 8 people I've sent invitation to. Can you please mute? Please, can you mute? So that you can hear the name clearly. For now. The 8 people have sent invitation to come to your email. Oh. We have Blessing Malik, Tykes B. We have The Law 2023. We have Esosa 89. We have Mr. Ibrahim.
Sometimes it is really
We have Mr. Adetutu Ola Wasayo. We have Tolani. We have Vibe 175. And we have Waju Olarewaju. I sent invite and yet to accept. Those are the people yet to accept. So if I just call them now.
okay.
No.
I'm going to press view invitation.
All right. For somebody who have seen the email, right now, please start sharing yours. I want to show you what you do when you have something like this. Because very soon in one project that you're going to work on in ALX, sometime in the future, and even multiple times, you're going to alter something. And up until this evening, someone was calling me to ask me how to fix. Turns out you here now know how to anything. So start sharing your screen now if you've gotten it, but if not, fine. So I have great. I've stopped sharing.
I have to get the email. I just went to my email and I saw it and accepted.
Okay, fine. If you went to
Sir,
your
I've accepted it already.
fine, those who have not accepted, it doesn't mean
How do you accept?
if you are with your system, if you are Fave, go back to your email now, or have you accepted?
Yeah, I've accepted already. I've accepted though.
If you have accepted,
I
no
saw
need.
it in my.
If you have accepted, no wahala. For anyone who hasn't accepted, and if you're using better, but if you're using phone, the same thing. Mr. Ibrahim, I see you sharing. Please go ahead and so just 3 people now. We are waiting for Blessing. We are waiting for Mr. Olawasayo. We are waiting for Tolani to accept. The rest have accepted.
Yeah, I'm having it so next.
Okay.
I've accepted it now.
If you have accepted, you can stop sharing. All right, so let me show you what to do.
Hello, Bwave. I'm here to receive my.
Please send me your GitHub username. I'm back to sharing my screen. I want to show you what to do next with your systems. So your Git Bash or your Ubuntu, anyone you have, can use it to do these things we're about to do now.
Once you press my GitHub username.
Okay, I've seen it. So once you are here, if you're using Ubuntu, great for you. If you're using Ubuntu, you have access to a repository called ppractice. You have access to a repository by default called ppractice. Please, I'm having some background noise. Okay. Yeah, favor, I've sent you. Are you done? Have you been able to accept?
Yes, I've accepted. Yes.
All right. So this is what you do. We have 4 invitations. left now. All right. So lastly, Tolani, Favor, Mofatek, Algoseria. This is the repo you have access to as it stands now. By my invitation, you have access to this repo. So it means you can work on this repo. So how do you work on a repo like this? I want to. Hi, Chika. Are you want to say something? All right. This is what you do. You have this repo. Come to code. You're going to copy. This is the good thing about being a collaborator. Collaborator is me and you are now working on. We're going to copy it. When you copy it, you come to wherever. So what should I use this time? PowerShell, Git bash. What should I use?
Git bash.
Use Git bash, please.
All these people that don't have Ubuntu make life difficult for you yourself now. You know, by default, I will not stress you. So you not having Ubuntu.
I can't see the repo here.
Have you seen the invites? Have you seen the invites? So you want to do something like git clone and paste.
Can you hear me?
I said, did you see the invites?
Yes, I've seen the invite and I've accepted, but I can't.
Are you using your computer system? Are you using computer?
The repo is not among the. Yes.
Please start sharing.
Yes.
Please start presenting. I've waited so long for one person.
I'm not using the system for the core.
Use it for the core now. Send me your email. Anybody that is using them for the core, please start sharing. Martin Kemi. Oh, please. Not you, I was asking for. Send me your user. Ebuka, no, please.
I'm sharing.
Great. Thank you. Now go to your. May I stop sharing? Go to your. Mr. Believe you've not lost out. Just pay attention to what we're about to do now. You have Ubuntu on your system.
Yes, I do.
Please open with Ubuntu. Who is presenting? Okay, two people are presenting. I see.
Oh, okay.
I see. Okay, Favor, just wait. Let's use Mr. Ibrahim. And then anyone that is still lost will use you. Mr. Ibrahim, I can see Ubuntu, so please. Have you opened Ubuntu? Mr. Believe, you are right on track. Just follow. Mr. Ibrahim, please increase the size of your screen. Click on that Ubuntu symbol. Come to properties. Go to fonts and increase it. Click on fonts. I can see options, fonts, layout, colors, terminals, fonts. Keep it at somewhere 28. And press OK. Fine. Now, what you want to do, if you're on the same page with him right now, on your git bash too, the same thing, same step, just type git clone. Git space clone. Remember when we were doing git? Space. Now go to my repo that you are now a collaborator. That's code up there. All this dark mode. Someone was just telling me WhatsApp dark mode, Facebook dark mode, Twitter dark mode, Insta dark mode, GitHub dark mode. Yet when they ask you, said you want your future to be or not complete it, yeah, but or how would it work?
To be bright.
Apply deal doesn't mean dark mode is anything though. Now copy it, you're on the right track. Now after copying it, so this is what you want to do if you are now a collaborator. Copy that link from there. Go back to your terminal. Paste it and hit enter. Paste it and hit enter. Okay, it should. The time it's taking would depend on your.
So why don't we use the token here? It's not applicable.
No, because you are now collaborating with not your work. It is now our work.
Okay, okay.
Yes. And so, are you done? Yes. Now, cd into the folder called C practice. Exactly. Done that, right? The C is in capital letter. Just press tab on your keyboard. Oh, I said you should press tab. You're now removing what you've done before. Okay, you put the no, no, no. Just press tab, tab, tab. Can hit enter now. All right. Now list out what you have here. This is what I expect everyone should wait. You now have in that folder called if else suite, have some kind of assignment. So before you cd into the assignment, just briefly stop sharing. Let me give you an overview of what everyone should have in it. Now, I've started sharing again. So you should have in your system, in your folder, when you clone, you should have this else switch. If you open it, you should have a tax1.txt. By you should have if else switch, and if you open it, have tax1.txt. So this is the if else switch folder. You have your readme and your make file. These two, don't touch them. You open your if else switch, you have your tax1.txt. You are going to open that. You're going to see some kind of tax that you have. you are going to do tax 1, tax 2, and tax 3. It's all up to you how you decide to, but you must follow these conditions that are written here. So for the tax 1, you have your question, you have the requirement, and then you have the file name. You have the file name. Okay, let me just do something. Let me just do something that makes less complicated. Oh no, I'm not going to change anything in tax 1. So go ahead and do that. Now that I believe you understand this else state, I'm giving you one of the tax cards with ALX here. This tax 1, exactly the same tax. Without looking at ALX, try to do. But if this would confuse you, you can ignore these requirements here and go about and do it. Just do something. Then this is the file name. So you are going to create this file called if else switch. So you can just copy it. You are going to create this file and write the answer to this tax 1. Tax 2, you are going to create this file if else switch.c and write answer to this one. You are going to complete the code, print out this, exactly what you did in ALX that time. But this time, don't look at anything. Try to fix it. And then in tax 3, it's something you didn't do ALX. This one is pretty much simple to what we did today. And then finally, tax 4 is something that will introduce you to something called switch statement. I want to see how you solve it. I just want to see how you are going to go about it, especially after hearing from me a whole lot that programming, you have to be very, very familiar with Google. You must use Google to help you write your code aloud. But don't use Google to get copy and paste. Google should explain everything for you, and that's totally fine. So I want to see how you. So this is the demo of what this repo is about. This is a folder, if else, and then switch, something we talk about. And these are the tags. So now I just.
Okay, sir. Please, how can we access this repository aside from going through the email?
Your email is your best bet. Maybe in on GitHub they can something, but I'm not sure.
They didn't. No,
Yes.
they haven't.
Yes, so I'm not sure they are going to.
Okay,
I'm
sir.
not. Yes, I'm not sure they are going to
Okay,
show you
sir.
again. So your email, place you communicate.
So sorry, after we have cloned it now, once we start working on the task, we need to clone it again.
No, once you've done this, now let me back to my.
Do you understand?
Once you've cloned this, all right, like he has done now, I
Yes.
just shared this thing to help you understand what the whole file was about. Now I can stop sharing and Ibrahim start sharing again, or any other person who has cloned. Start sharing. Let me. What you. This thing you're learning now, some people that have been coding for 3-4 years don't even know it. All right, I can see you, Choma. Welcome. Go to your terminal now and let's continue. You try to veer into a folder. That's why it's giving you those weird errors. So you can quit. You can quit by using the WQ command. Chairman can write WQ and press enter.
I'm actually trying to quit. I'm doing that, but it's not accepting.
Press your escape key.
Yes.
On your caps lock. No. Press your escape key.
Yes.
On your caps lock and press Z 2 times.
Z. Okay.
Is it out?
Yes, it's out.
Yeah, it's not yet showing. So you want to see into your code. Always remember, don't CD into.
Already in the folder. But
can't even see your
my screen.
Yes. So the next thing you want to do, I don't know where the network is. Okay, finally I can see it. Great. So the next thing you want to do is git config. This message I've just typed now. I sent this one. I sent here on the message. Git config global add user.name. Just copy it. Everyone can do the same thing. No? Okay, fine. Space. Now put your GitHub.
Why is okay? So I should do what now?
Put a space and then put your GitHub username. No, don't press enter. Put a space, put your GitHub username.
I'm sorry. Wait. So I have to config after entering C practice.
Yes. Before entering or after entering. This is called global.
After entering C practice.
Anytime you like, you can just do it, but just do. Make sure it's your GitHub username. So like me, I just copy my own from GitHub direct and paste. Then next thing you want to put, after your username, you can press enter. Make sure the git config dash global, everything is in line. And yes, I think everything is in line with you. So you can press enter. And then put your email. Copy this now. This message I just sent last. Copy it. Git config global user.in. And
why can't we use git config global username directly instead of making use of add username?
You can use, I think there's another method, another way that's somehow similar. I mean, they are the same. I don't remember these things from my head though. I just went to Google now and check out how to do it.
Okay, just like the pattern she used to write this for that Gmail. Git config global user email, then our email.
Use anyone that you know would work. You can press enter now.
I've done that.
All right. Try to. Now, please increase your screen so that every person following you can see what you've done. You can use the control plus to increase your screen. Yes, I've been hearing you. Have you done this one before on your Ubuntu?
Yes.
On your Ubuntu, not Sandbox,
Yes.
so not ALX
No.
SSH.
Yes.
Then you are good to go. Use your Control Plus to increase your screen, Shoma, please. Control and then plus. No, hold your control. Hold your control key. Exactly.
No, I didn't. I was thinking of something else.
Okay, okay.
I think it's better now.
Yes.
I'm seeing mine on my ear.
If you are doing it,
To make us able to put to G12,
yes.
I've done this last night.
Okay, so the next thing you want to do is to create a new branch. Everyone. And to do that, you are going to use anywhere you do it that works for you is fine. This branch is going to be your you are going to use this command I've just typed now. Sorry, Mr. Ibrahim, background is noisy. All right, so you paste that, everyone. You can paste that.
It requires a value.
Paste it, no, and then put your name. That would be your branch name. Paste
As
that.
any name or a username.
Your name, your own name, not username, your name, so that we know who was working on that.
Okay.
Remember when you did one project called a branch is the copy of your project? That gets tags. For these tags, create a branch called update script. I know you must have forgotten.
Yes, yes.
We are
yes,
doing this
obvious.
thing again. Now type git branch and then press enter. Let's see if we have your branch. Everyone, type git branch and press enter, and let's see if we have your branch.
Please, my name in quotes, or I should just write my name only.
If you follow exactly the command I gave, you don't need to put your name in quotes. So Chioma, now in this task, you can now cd into the if else. So you can just cd space I.
Oh, my battery.
Uh-oh. Yes, press enter. Just do a file called
There is noise. So I should do what?
use VI to create this file called anything dot maybe tax1.c. No space. Press enter. Use your eye and probably write anything and then save, quit. Save and quit. You can git add, git commit, and git push. All right, so that command, it asks you to copy. I just have to keep muting this because of the background noise. Sorry. That command, it asks you to copy git push set upstream origin Chioma.
Yes.
Please copy
Yes.
it and paste.
Okay.
And paste.
I've done that.
All right.
It's supposed to change. Process.
Have you ever signed in with your browser before?
No.
Click on the sign in with your browser. So if you've never signed into GitHub with your normal accounts, go to your browser, any browser that is open by default now for you. Go there and sign into GitHub.
No, this is not the best place to do this. I think I will just copy to Google.
Anyway, when I that this check out, what you give me said there's no command like that. Babu.
Fix it now.
Right.
I'm already signed in though to GitHub. Yes, I don't know. Let's sign out and sign in again.
Oh God. Oh no.
Oops.
No.
Oops.
When
Sorry about that. Our network. Battery.
I did check out minus we said error, switch B requires invalid.
We just said put your name. So another person with system should share. But Mr. Ibrahim, like the TV is to the highest volume, and I can understand. You can't tell everybody in the difficult to cope with that. That's why I'm always any other person. If you've signed in before, going to eventually put. Now is when you actually.
Hello, he said that you switch to branch. I've seen it.
Then switch now. Switch. You put your name as the name of the branch.
Bwave, evening. Hello, Bwave.
Yes, so.
Yes, while we're going with Choma, I was following her, but when I gave me a fatal error saying unable to access PSP top the bright Daniel C practice. Could not resolve.
It's either your network or you missed one step that we did. Probably you try to clone with your personal access token. Do not clone with your personal access token.
No, I forgot the step you asked us to. That's cloning from practice and code stuff.
All right, do it again. You've set your upstream branch. Did he give you that command?
Upstream branch. Yes, give me that command. Git push set upstream origins.
Please, yes. Can you increase your Mr. Who is sharing? Mr. Ayuba, please, can you maximize the Git batch? Mr. Ibrahim, please be using for message. Once you've hit enter, Mr. Ayuba, it should work. Or did he ask you to sign in with your browser? Please do.
After I added the upstream, and
Scroll
I
down.
entered, give me, it said no such file or directory.
Authorize grid credits manager, please. Anywhere you see this, just click authorize.
But for me, it didn't say authorized. It just asked sign in for HTTPS github.com, finish. So I'm supposed to impute a username for GitHub. I don't know if I'm imputing mine or yours now.
Yours now. Yours. You didn't do the git config global username. That's why. Please press confirm, Mr. Ayuba.
I did that.
Okay.
All right. You can go back to your console, your terminal. Now today, you start to do git. These ones that you've been doing in the sandbox since.
Wait, I'm
Display.
lost. I'm lost. Yeah. This I should just click authorize.
Another one.
This then
It's now a trend. As usual now, you just saw what we did.
I've done that and I did like that. My name came out. What do I do next? I've been sent to the branch.
After you follow this process, you should
I've seen my name, so what do I do next?
authorize them.
please click on the authorize. Anywhere you see authorize, click on authorize. Anywhere you see give access, click on give access. Mr. Kemi, I asked for username, so not email. Mr. Ibrahim, you can start sharing your screen.
I'm still lost. I'm at that G checkout minus B, and it's not giving me any. It says switch B requires a value. Then I put my name. It said did not match any file known to Git.
What is your name?
Tayo. Hey.
Seems like. Please use this command for yourself. I've just sent it on the message. That place you have Shayo, everybody should put his name. If it were me, I would put it on. I'm not on WhatsApp, or if I enter WhatsApp, just send any question. Or it will be after I leave.
Sorry.
Yes,
Sorry. I'll suggest you just make a very short video on how to, go about this. But I believe it's short step for us to do. You just create a short video for. I believe there are so many of us that our system have gone down or probably would have access to our system right now. So just tomorrow we can just go through it and then do the. I don't know if you can do something like that.
So far, I have 5 branches, and wow, I have Ayuba, I have Blessing, I have Brighton. At your suggestion, button. Let's about that. But I want you to start saying. Imagine if we were in the same company working. I will not create video.
So giving me Git branch, Shayo, and me. So I would like to continue.
Do the same. I don't understand. Just follow the process as we're following. No such file or directory. So fine, for those who have gotten it so far. Hang on, now let me continue. Now in that your branch, I want you go here now. Let's assume it was my I was on Git bash, right? I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, sure.
I have this folder called C practice. I cloned to right where you have this tax1.txt. Please write the answers. I've just seen into else and folder here in practice. Okay, so everyone that has cloned can do this. This one does not concern pushing. This is where you write your answer. In VI tax 1.txt, have what you are asked to do. Look at the tax. Write a program that prints the alphabet in lowercase. Your tax 1 should copy this file name. Copy this file name. And then this, if you wish, you can decide to create another folder to write your answer. You can decide to do it in the folder. It's all up to you. But just press enter. And this file, if I see the file, I will know this is file. Here now you can write the answer. Right? So you can do something like include stdio. And then you can go ahead to do your int main and pretty much write out the code that will solve the problem. You get, this is where you solve the answer. Once you solve file 1, you are going to say your answer 1, go to file 2, copy it again, create all the answers. All right, create all the answers for yourself, all the answers files. Write the, or should I go ahead and create the answer? Maybe I should. No, you can create the answer file just using this is, let me remove this. This is what you suite, but all your answers should be files that are, and when you're done, just push. You can use VI to create your file, but I'll find watch and just create your file the way you do in ALX. Write your answers and it's, so how would you know the file? When you VI into test 1, I'm sorry, but the noise is high. When you VI into tax, you can see tax 1. Write a program that prints all the alphabets in that case. And then this is the file name, what you are going to copy. Write the file. Tax 2. This is tax 3. Actually did it quite low, scattered and annoying, because in your project, in program in ALX, you're not going to have the nicest of environment. So I want you to start getting, especially as it relates to, if not, I could have created different files, but I wanted to put all of them in one place. Ask you to kind of differentiate one from that. So this file name of tax 1, tax. You are going to copy this code just the way it is. Complete. You are going to copy this. Remember when you did a project like this, then you put your code goes here. So this is where you would put your code, and this would be your code. Yes, the output of the program. Then the file name also. Then the same thing you for your file 3. If else suite, right? And then the same thing for your file 4. You can't do file 4, don't worry, we'll do it. But try. It's as simple as it is. Looking at it here now, this is actually exactly how to do. I just left one more step here. So just try. This is in the main. If you've been able to put work to give, this is for you. If Why? For the rest that have not been.
Sorry, I'm having an error.
Okay,
After,
what error?
after authorizing, I went back to the git bash.
Yes.
I tried to everything just clear. I tried to let me git. I'm having one warning in the working copy of if else, that is the direction and the path. NF will be replaced by CRL. The next time git touches it. I don't know what's the meaning of that.
Just do git push. Just push using your setup stream origin. Or just type git. Just type git, press enter. Tell you what's next. Just copy. Lastly, if having issue copying.
Not saying anything. Nothing is.
If I say I want to.
Okay, see, everything is up to date.
Exactly. So as you push back.
Yes, I just pull git push.
What is the name of the branch you did?
My name, Blessing.
I can see. If you go to GitHub now and check on the place where you have branches, 5, you are going to see your own branch.
Ah, okay.
Bwave, have you seen my gas law?
Under the same direction.
I've not seen gas law.
Because
if you push, it will tell you clearly.
After I put the up message, I pasted it. That's why I'm saying that message I have is to have this up automatically for branching without departing.
Okay, just hold on first. Just to show you how you can, if you push your branch to go, and it's that branch you are going to replace. You come here. I hope you can see my screen. Come here. Click on me. You can see so far we have 5 branches. This is Ayuba. This is Essena. These 2 branches. Yes. So in Ayuba now, if you see Ayuba, you see something called tax1.c, and he types the it. You can see I see. So this is how it works. Or if I go to,
so are we like collaborators? Are we going to see these branches as well?
Anybody can see. But in this live, come here. Under any branch. In branch.
If only some are set up and others are not set up, want us to work with the assignment.
Share your screen. It was only Eve that I asked not to. And I saw her message. Any other person can. He saw her. While I was muting you, and I'm still probably going to mute you. Done everything now. You've done everything. Go ahead, create a file and put it to GitHub. Ibrahim. There's nothing to do for you now. Programming, you have to be. Just look at what you're doing. What it says your branch already. And do the next thing. So create a file now. Don't stop sharing. PGD Oluwase if you are sharing, to show you Ubuntu, show you something.
I'm still lost.
Please, anybody now to share? I wanted to show you something now that would help you. You also you are very sweet. Pushing your work to give ALS. I will be faster. That's why I said it.
So sorry, I thought you cannot make it. Like just write out the steps. Write out the steps. Can you just write out the steps for us so that we can follow?
I'll try to see what I can do. Try to find a way. But there's a reason why I'm taking.
I'm trying to push.
Please share your screen. You have to share your screen. This is lastly.
LB, after I did the upstream, it is asking me password my GitHub.
Asking you password to your GitHub. That's not even possible.
Yeah. I have shipped
Password for http github. You didn't follow the steps, so is this username is asking for?
Yeah, username for HTTPS.
Hi. It's what I've been saying now. Git config global add user.name. That's what I've been saying.
Okay. But I think you can just add the username directly like that.
Write it.
Oh, my own username, right? Yes, your own username. Okay, you have to paste your personal access token. Okay, my personal access token.
Are you sure you are working in a repository?
Yes, I am.
I'm not supposed to be asking you that. Any last question? Hammocks PyCharm. You have PyCharm, then you should have GitHub because are you using PyCharm? Are you using it on phone?
Yeah, on my phone.
Oh, you are using PyCharm.
No, just demo.
Use your system now. I don't know how the software engineer has become
Condition.
you get this drivers, but even assumes you're welcoming.
Hello.
Lastly,
Hello,